The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Go Cowboys! This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts,
Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
Here we are. Hey, everybody. It's Monday here. OTA Monday for the Cowboys at the Star. They very church.
Yes, indeed.
We're out there looking. We see we got they got little things set up out here.
Yeah, they got the dummies.
So they get ready to go here. But yes, church.
I'm here.
Church was on time.
I'm
church
here.
was on time.
I was the first one here.
Well, fine me. Give me the Tom Coughlin fine here.
That's gonna be a lot. It might cost you a lot, but that Tom Coughlin, he gonna come through with it.
Or maybe I'll be like Dalton Schultz. I may start recruiting.
Ooh,
I'm not coming in.
I ain't coming in.
Right. Players Lounge. Right.
Because what else you gonna do?
There's another week of OTAs, which stands for the Organized Team Activities, a.k.a. the voluntary / mandatory workouts.
There it is.
Dalton Schultz is on a franchise tag, so according to NFL Network and Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News, John Machota, The Athletic, just a couple people are also reporting it as well. So Schultz is not coming into this week's OTAs because he does not have a contract. He's upset with the talks right now, though he did say earlier, I'm going to let my agent handle it. I guess now you're not happy with the agent handle.
I guess he ain't getting them numbers right.
Agent not doing enough here. So he's not coming in.
Yeah.
That's his prerogative. I hope fans understand, and this is where you come in, Barry
Yes,
Church,
indeed.
former safety, that this is not mandatory. Next week is mandatory.
Yes, you will get fined if you're not at mandatory minicamp. They have the rights to fine you. I don't know what the numbers are on those fines, but they can get steep as the days go on. But when we get back to Dalton Schultz, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for saying, you know what, I don't have a deal finalized. I don't want to go out there. And we all know, risk injury for something that's not guaranteed. I understand. Well, wait, before I say that, is the franchise tag guaranteed? Like, once you sign that franchise tag, it's guaranteed.
Yes.
But he has yet to sign it.
Once you sign it.
Okay.
Look, I keep, and Twitter will start hitting him, and they'll all, people always like to bash the players. You don't have to be here.
It's voluntary. And it's not like Dalton Schultz is a rookie. This is the guy he's going to.
The offense. Not a new coordinator here. Not a new quarterback here.
Yes.
You know what to do.
And he had an explosive season last year. I was the one doubting him. I was the one saying, he can't do it. But he proved me wrong last year. And he was kind of that security blanket for Dak Prescott. Okay. So it's not like he has to be here. And Dalton Schultz doesn't seem like a guy that, to me at least, I don't know him personally, but to me at least, he doesn't seem like a guy that goes out there and he's not going to be working out. He's going to be, drinking and partying all the time and coming in and out of shape.
He knows what's at stake.
He knows what's at stake. This is a big year for him. Last year, he knew what was at stake, and look what happened. He had one of his best seasons as a pro. So, to me, it's he's going to come in here. He's going to be in shape. He's going to know what to do.
Right.
So, to me, missing these OTAs and all that stuff, it's not a huge deal when it comes to Dalton Schultz. I think he'll come back prepared and ready to roll once it's mandatory.
It's a couple of practices,
and exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I tell you, man, there are days where I can't look at Cowboy Twitter.
It'll make you upset. It'll make you upset sometimes.
Cowboy Nation Twitter is something like, really? The man doesn't have to be here. He wants a contract. Now, I'll say this. What kind of contract you want?
I assume he wants to be, one of the top 5 paid tight ends in the league. That's what I would assume.
So I'm going to just give you a kind of a barometer here.
Okay.
David Njoku of the Browns.
Ooh, he just got broke off.
Okay, 4 years, $56.75 million contract, $28 million guaranteed.
God, dog. That's what, like 12, 13 a year?
So the other two, guys who got tagged, Mike Gesicki down there in Miami, and then Dalton Schultz of the Cowboys.
Now, are we? And this is my thing with Schultz. This is why I was like, I don't know, because you named Njoku and Gesicki. Those are two guys.
Well, Njoku got paid, but Gesicki and Schultz, they haven't been signed. They're tagged but hadn't been signed.
And the difference between Gesicki and Schultz is, He's basically a wide receiver. You can split him out.
You can't block. These dudes can't
block. They can't block.
Okay.
And he can go out there. You can split him out. And I think, in my opinion, he can win those one-on-ones. Like, he can go out there. If he's locked up on a corner, safety, it doesn't matter. He can go up and get the ball. And he can do some damage in the passing game. Schultz, he can do it as well. But I don't think he's that level to where he, like Gesicki is. I think Schultz is more of a security blanket, get you 5, get you 10 yards. But I don't see him as a big threat, deep threat. Defenses are going to focus in on him, and you got to make sure you handle him first. I don't see him as that type of guy. So does that warrant a huge contract? I don't know. I don't think he's as dynamic as an Njoku, as a Gesicki, as a Kittle, as a Kelsey. I don't know. I see him as maybe a middle of the road tight end I say him above average. I'll give him maybe top 15 in the league, top 10.
So I'll go back into Blake Jarwin, for instance, who was the starter before he got hurt, and then Schultz got his opportunity and took over. Before injury, and obviously injury's a part of it.
Yes.
Was Schultz better than Jarwin?
I don't think he was.
Or they basically the same guy?
They was basically the same. Because to me, I thought Jarwin had a lot of potential. I thought Jarwin was going to come in here and be that seams guy, down the seams, deep threat. You can split him out, do all that good stuff. Kind of like a
poor
guy.
man's Kelsey.
Yes, exactly. But he never turned into Kelsey. He was more of a Gavin Escobar as far as that situation goes. Okay. So I say Schultz ended up being better than Jarwin.
In the world of economics today.
Okay.
Would it be easier for you to get another Schultz-type guy in free agency for a year and then go into the draft next year?
I think so.
With significant savings when you start to think about, okay, if Njoku is the type of contract and the agent is trying to get the same type of deal, are you really ready to do that for a tight end? And are you sure the offensive coordinator and the head coach are going to be back here next year?
You're not sure about that. You're not sure because there's a lot of pressure on a lot of people this year.
Folks, right.
And if the job's not done, that head guy's going to be out of here. And the new guy coming in is going to probably want a new OC and all that. And the offense is going to change.
Are they the new OC going to be into a tight end? I mean, one of the things.
Exactly.
Okay, and I go back into this about Mike McCarthy, and I've kind of had this disagreement at times with people who get mad about the Zeke contract. I say this. Zeke was signed when you had a head coach who believed in the running game. Mm-hmm. Then you go out, you hire a head coach who's never been about the running game, who's been a passing coach. You're mad at the player?
He's falling. It ain't the player. I mean, yes, he might have lost a step, but he's not getting the opportunities he once was. I mean, he was getting 20-some carries a game. Now, we've seen a couple games this year where he had maybe 12, 10 here. He's blocking more than he's running the route.
I go back to this is way, way, way old school NBA. It's when the Knicks hired Don Nelson to be the head coach and Patrick Ewing was the center. That wasn't what Nelly did. Nelly wasn't trying to run the offense. All right, let's throw it down low to Patrick.
Let him do work. Yeah,
right, you did bounce. That's not what they did. Patrick is pounding the ball and goes. That's not what Don Nelson did. So it was not a fit.
Not a good fit.
So we have seen, depending on who the head coach is, it's going to affect players. Yep. Ezekiel Elliott is not seeing the kind of carries he did under a Jason Garrett. Where, I mean, you think about Jason Garrett, DeMarco Murray, NFL offensive player.
He's a bell cow back.
Won that award. And then you saw Zeke winning rushing titles. That's probably not going to happen in a Mike McCarthy / Kellen Moore offense.
Especially when he's also splitting time with a Tony Pollard.
So are you going back here to Schultz, circling back here, are you going to commit to the kind of dollars that Njoku did, and you may not who knows where your offense is going to be in a year?
Yeah, who knows? Because we like right now Kellen Moore. He loves his tight end sets, his 12 personnel. He'll sprinkle some 11 in there as well. But to me, I see it kind of like a Ced Wilson. We weren't willing to give Ced Wilson that long-term deal, and we went and got a guy in the draft. I think we could have done that same thing with Schultz. I don't think, and I could be wrong because I've been wrong in the past, but I just don't think he's that dynamic of a player to where it doesn't matter the scheme. He can just ball out. I think his scheme matters when it comes to Schultz.
Now, obviously, we don't know what the number is that Dalton Schultz wants and why he's sitting at the OTAs. But obviously he's frustrated by it because several reports say, okay, not enough movement here. I want a long-term deal.
Do you think is he that player that can get a long-term deal? Like I can see, like if you said, if everything was in concrete as far as coaches are concerned, I can see that. But it's so much in the air right now. McCarthy's, he got to get the job done or he's more than likely going to be out of here.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this because you're a former safety, so you know what it is about checking tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Is Dalton Schultz, Jimmy John's used the word, difference maker? Okay. Or is he the word that Bill Parcells used to say, Jag, just a guy? Meaning, I can go find another guy to give me similar production. Maybe he's not doing it as well as you, but he can get this done. Jimmy, when he talked about difference maker, is, hey, this guy makes a difference when we go out on Sundays. This is a guy that a coordinator is, all right, here's 87. Brady's looking for 87 here in this red zone. Are we talking about that kind of guy?
See, that's a tough one because Schultz, I don't want to disrespect him and say he's just another guy because he did ball out last year. He had a good season last year. I think he had, 8 touchdowns in the red zone, and he was kind of that security blanket, like I said. But when you talk about difference maker, when you talk about a guy that defenses, you go into that meeting on Monday, and he's highlighted on the board as offensive guys we have got to keep our eye on. Last year, I don't think he was that guy that was highlighted. I believe defenses were focusing more on Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup out there stopping the run that we wish we would have had. But I think Schultz was more third or fourth on that list. Now going into this year, there is no Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup, he's going to be out for the first couple games, probably more than likely. And now you got a CeeDee Lamb and a Dalton Schultz. Okay. So he can become one of those guys that are highlighted on the defensive board come Monday morning that we got to stop this guy to make this offense become stagnant. But as of right now, if we're talking about last year and going into this year, I would have to lean more towards being a little bit above a Jag because he made some outstanding plays last year. But like I said, I would be shocked if I went into one of those defensive meetings and they had Schultz. Hey, you got to stop this guy. We don't stop this guy, their offense is going to explode on this.
Church third down.
You got to have him on there because if you looked at it, if you watched the tape last year of the game, there was linebackers on him. There was, random safeties here and there on him. There wasn't that specific lockdown guy on Schultz. And he took advantage of it. I'll give him that. He took advantage of it.
So then he's not a difference maker right now?
He's not. No, in my opinion, now, he's not a difference.
Okay, so if you're taking that off the table, that's what you're trying. And you're talking about franchise tag, long-term deal. You're paying difference makers.
Exactly.
We need to keep this player.
I was surprised they tagged him, to be honest with you. I was surprised.
I didn't have an issue with the tag. Now, let's go to, first off, let's put the numbers out here for Dalton Schultz. Played 17 games last year, had 78 catches, second on the team. CeeDee Lamb led the team with 79 catches in 16 games. Dalton Schultz tied Amari Cooper in terms of touchdown leaders, the receiver position, 8.
8 touchdowns.
Okay, so Schultz was there. He had 808 yards. That's third on the team. CeeDee Lamb had 1,000, had basically 1,100 yards. Amari Cooper in 15 games had 865 yards. Schultz in 17 games had 808 yards. So we're talking about production from a tight end. They got production there. But let's be honest as well. When you start looking down the list of who you're trying to stop if you're a defensive coordinator, he wasn't in the top 3 of the Cowboys. Receiving or even when you add in the run game.
And he wasn't. And then if you watch it, a lot of the times we were in the red zone, they were kind of a schemey plays. Like, he's going to block, release, or he's going to cross the field and try to get a pick from somebody. It wasn't like how you look at Kelsey, how you look at those guys where they're like, all right, split them out there. I don't care who's on them. It could be the number 1 corner on them out there. We're going to do one-on-one, and I'm going to throw it up to my guy and see what he can do. I didn't see a lot of that from a Dalton Schultz. I saw a lot of, crossing. He got picked out here and there, maybe a tight end screen, and he was able to make a couple guys miss and get in the end zone, which is still a good thing. But to me, if you're talking about paying a man top dollar, he's got to be dynamic enough to where you're going to be like, I don't care who's on you on the outside. You're going to go out there and you're going to win your one-on-one battles. And I just didn't see that.
And so therein lies where's the agent, and we don't know yet, but where's the agent coming from, and what is he looking for?
What are the numbers?
And what is the team saying? Okay, this is what's going to work for us. That's the challenge. But obviously, right now, by Schultz deciding, okay, I'm not going to come to OTAs this week. I'm frustrated. That's not.
He has all right to, because like you said, it's voluntary.
It's not uncommon. I mean, we saw Zach Martin do the same thing when he didn't have his deal. I mean, this is something we've seen happen before. I have no issues with that. It's just about where is the right spot for the number. In Njoku's number, we kind of look at that and just say, no, that's not going to happen.
That's not, no. And Njoku's dynamic, but they got a guy underneath him who's pretty good as well. So I was also surprised on that one.
So let me give you a number within the division.
Okay.
Dallas Goddard of Philadelphia. 4 years, $57 million. which included a $10.2 million signing bonus and $35 million guaranteed. Average salary of $14.2 million. Dallas Goddard is 27 years old, and this year he's got a cap number of $4.2 mil. But I look at him and I just say, he's a good player. He's not a difference maker.
I would say he's not. I mean,
good player. So, are you prepared to give Schultz a 4-year deal in the $57 million range and giving him, $35 or $28 million? I mean, this is where you're sitting at here, man. This is the number. And you could say, Newey, this is the price of doing business right now for tight ends. Do you want to pay that?
To me personally, if I'm the GM of the Cowboys, I'm in Will's position, I'm in, Jerry's position, I wouldn't do it. And the reason I say that is because I feel like you can find that in the draft. Or you can get a 1-year tight end to come in here and do what Dalton Schultz has been able to do. I mean, maybe if he had a couple years back to back where he was putting up 800 yards and 8 touchdowns and we've seen it, but this year is going to be a big barometer for him. If he's able to go out there once again and display the ability that he was able to do last year, then maybe we come back to the table and we think about this. But I got to see more than just 1 year. And he had so much talent around him in that 1 year to where he was able to exploit the 3rd or 5th, option defensively to guard him. He was able to exploit that. So if he's able to come out here and do those numbers again this year with just basically CD Lamb, Michael Gallup coming off ACL, and then you got a rookie, Jalen Tolbert out there as well. A lot of the pressure will be on Schultz to go out there and do what he does. So if he's able to do that next year, I can see them maybe coming back to the table.
I'm a big fan of Mark Andrews, going back to when he was at Oklahoma, catching passes for Baker Mayfield. He's there in Baltimore right now, Pro Bowl type player. 4 years, $56 million contract he got with the Ravens, $37.5 million guaranteed. So if Schultz is looking for this kind of number, and this is where people like Mark Andrews are at, Mike Gesicki, not Mike Gesicki, but Dallas Goddard are at, man, that's I don't see them doing that based on just how. Look, they had issues paying Amari Cooper $20 million.
Yeah,
and here's a guy who's been a Pro Bowl player. I don't know how they're going to get to this.
I don't either
with him. With Dalton Schultz. So I think this guy just may be frustrated here. Travis Kelce, 4 years, $57 million contract, $22 million guaranteed.
Sir,
and he signed his a couple years ago.
In that 50-some realm. Is he that? That's the thing I can't kind of grasp my mind around, because I look out there and I see what he's able to do on the football field, and I just see him as
he'd have to prove it.
Yes, he would have to go out there and prove it again.
Go. This is what the franchise tag is. If you ask DeMarcus Lawrence to play on it,
twice back-to-back years.
You had Dak Prescott play on it.
Exactly.
Sorry, buddy.
You got to do it. I know you had a hell of a season last year, but this is how the game works.
We've had guys who've made the Pro Bowl play on this.
Exactly. So you can't. He can't expect. All right, why am I not getting paid? All these guys had to go through it. You can't expect to be different, especially when those guys, like you mentioned, Pro Bowl players, all pro players, still had to play on the tag.
Guys who are in the premier positions in the league that get paid.
You're talking about DN, quarterback. I mean, this is we ain't talking about tight end now. This is just. Premier. It's
right
premium
there,
position.
right there.
Yeah.
If Dak had to do it, if Tank had to do it, sorry, buddy.
You got to do it.
Sorry, buddy. It is what it is. It is what it is. So
now, if we're talking about Micah or something, that's a different story. Because that guy is already proven to be one of the top defenders in the National Football League.
Speaking of Micah Parsons, let's take a break here on the Players Lounge. We'll dive into Micah Parsons and his thoughts on rookie Tyler Smith, and also his thoughts on Tank Lawrence. We'll get into that, and we'll remember. One of the good Cowboy players, one of the good guys, Marion Barber III, who passed away last week.
Barbarian.
Barry Church, Newey Scruggs, Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
At Smoothie King, we are blending goodness to fuel your greatness. Every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses only whole fruits and organic veggies. You'll never find sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of our blends. Smoothie King is proud to be the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Place your order in the app or online for pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Youth camps. Registration is open for Dallas Cowboys Youth Camps Academy, presented by Invisalign. Don't miss the chance to learn from former Dallas Cowboys players and current Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Visit dallascowboys.com/academy to learn more and secure your spot today. You know Danny McCray is always talking about secure your spot because those things fill up fast. Get your spot now, man. Youth camps, and more youth camps.
Did you go to youth camps as a kid?
I didn't. My parents did not have the funds to send me to the youth camps growing up, so I missed out on a lot of those opportunities.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Never got to go, so
it's a pretty penny sometimes. It's a pretty penny.
And that's the thing today. Now my kids go. They just think everybody does it. Like,
No.
Kid went off to camp today. Kid don't, just thinking every day.
Just thinking, hey, sign up and you good. Nah.
Yeah.
Those funds coming knocking.
Players Lounge brought to you by Hotels.com right here on DallasCowboys.com radio. So Micah Parsons, who was sensational last year, unanimous Rookie of the Year, and fantastic job by Dan Quinn in figuring out how to use him. So Parsons, okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to say I got to stand up because I start talking about Micah Parsons. I get
that juice. I mean, he gives you that vibe. He gives you that vibe, man.
I'm not saying he is. Okay. But luckily in my career, I got to be around Junior Seau when I was living in Southern California.
Oh, yeah.
And you just talk about a guy who's got that juice, who's got that swagger about him. Micah Parsons has Junior Seau-like swagger. And out there on the field, coming at you from different areas, just wants to be good, and just he's got a lot of that. Not saying he is.
Okay.
But having been around Junior, you just say, man, I wish Junior was alive today because I would love to ask you, Junior, do you see some of Micah Parsons in you?
That's huge right there. And I can see where you say that because this guy, for a guy that's young, because I think people get how young he is coming into this league. For him to have the mindset that he has, it's spectacular. He's not worried about none of the off-field and all this, the money that. I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy. He's not worried about none of that. All he wants to do is get on the field, whether it's practice or on Sundays, and be the best player on the field. And to me, to be that young and that dedicated to the game, I mean, he has an extremely bright future.
Can I say this that I don't think we talk about enough? This dude didn't play the year before.
Not at all.
He didn't play football. He didn't play college football. And the guy comes to the league and does this?
At two different positions.
What will he do now? You know, because having played Barry Church, the biggest jump in a player's career is from year 1 to year 2.
Yes, it is.
Now your body knows what to do. You know what to do.
You know what to expect.
You understand, all right, I need to get here or there. And then the coaches, the good coaches, have an understanding of this is what the player can do and this is the expectations where we want to be. If he stays healthy,
oh, my goodness. sky's the limit, man. If he's, because and then I look at what D Ware and them those guys were able to do, and D Ware, Hall of Fame caliber player, he is great off the edge. He got some of that D Ware in him, but he can also stand up and be sideline to sideline linebacker.
Combination of D Ware, Von Miller.
It's unprecedented, and he was able to do that as a rookie. And knowing your playbook alone as a rookie is an accomplishment in its own. But being able to learn two different positions and be that high level of a player as your rookie, not even playing the year before in the National Football League, where I don't care what you say, the speed is different. I don't care if you play in the SEC, Big Ten, it don't matter. The speed is a hell of a lot different in the National Football League than it is in college. And for him to just jump on that from game one, I mean, it's remarkable what he's been able to do so far.
So Tank Lawrence met with the media early on in OTAs the first week and said, "Hey, man, a rookie showed me up, and I'm healthy. I need to get the sack number back," meaning leading the team in sacks. Mm-hmm. So Micah Parsons was asked about what Tank Lawrence had to say, and here is what Micah Parsons told the media.
I want D-Law to step up. I want him to be who he is. I'm not taking that away from him, but I'm sorry to tell him he's never getting that back, ever in his life. He got to enjoy it. I want him to get all the enjoyment that he possibly can, feed his head so he could be a 10-sack guy, great. But if 10's the number, I'm going for 20, You just got to go out there and compete, and it's just going to be a race to the quarterback, like it or not. So I'm excited.
Hey, Pops, I appreciate what you've done before you've gotten here. It's really good, and I have a lot of respect for it. But I'm the captain.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now. I mean,
it's my record now. You could be number two. Or what Larry Bird said at the 3-point contest. All right, who's coming in second?
Because I'm here. Because I mean that. And look, the guy's been backing it up. Like he has a lot of bravado and he likes to talk, but the guy's been out there backing it up. And when you put up numbers like he has, it's gonna be a race to the quarterback. And like he said, if D-Law wants to be a 10-sack guy, I'm gonna be a 20-sack guy. He's never getting that back. But to me, it's like when the last time did D-Law led this team in sacks?
I don't know, but I just found
because I know we had Quinn for a little bit.
I want you to step up.
That was the part that had me like, ooh.
Help me. Feel free to help me out.
That was a little jab, a little bit. Step up, man. But was he lying?
Did he lie? Thank you.
I don't think he's lying.
I detected no lies. I mean, look, let's be honest, okay? I've been on this one for a minute. Tank Lawrence, since he signed the money, has not put up the numbers.
You're right.
And you can talk about, Pro Football Focus and rushing and stopping the run. No. You got paid to get to the quarterback.
That's what you get paid for.
I don't care what the pass rush win rate is, all this stuff.
I hate those
that
stats.
People might throw out there, where you were against the run. No. You got paid to get to the quarterback, just as Trayvon Diggs is going to ask for a monster contract because he takes the ball away.
He takes the ball away.
That is what they do in the National Football League. It's where you base the contracts off of. If I'm the agent, I'm like, look how many quarterback sacks he had. Getting to the quarterback is what matters.
That's all that matters.
That's what you're paying defensive players to do. The best ones. Can you either sack the quarterback or intercept the quarterback? That's why they're making the most money on defense.
Exactly. And I can see if this was 1990 where they ran the ball 100 times and this guy was great against the run. But we're in 2022 right now, and we all know that it's a pass-happy league. I mean, 11 personnel has dominated the more parts of each and every offense out there. Everybody's in 11 personnel to start out with. So what matters most is not stopping the run, is getting after these quarterbacks. And D-Law, like my man Parsons said, got to step it up.
I'll even go and say this. What's impressive about Parsons getting 13 sacks as a rookie, and anyone who can get to the quarterback, like an Aaron Donald, you have more of these quick passing games, 3-step drops. So guys know, all right, I can't hold this ball too long because here comes Donald.
This is true.
Here comes Parsons. They know it's coming, so you got to go ahead and get rid of this thing quick. They have an understanding of what they got to do. Look, Justin Herbert is one of the special quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah.
He was getting to him, and they knew, all right, we got to cut down. And so if Justin is not taking if he's taking a 5-step drop, then he's going to have the opportunity to take that cannon arm he's got and throw it downfield.
That's what
hit
you don't
Williams,
want.
and hit a Keenan Allen. But when you got Mike out there, you now, instead of 5, you may have to cut it to 3. Or if you take the 5, understand, it could be. You could get got.
And that to me is what marks a great defensive player. When offenses have to change their whole mentality or their whole approach to the game, man, we want to attack this defense deep. We want to be able to attack their secondary. But, man, that guy off the edge, he's not going to give us an opportunity to. So we got to switch it up. We got to go to bubble screens. We got to go to play action and get 3-step drops and get the ball out quick. Because when you got a superstar, when you got a guy like Micah Parsons on the outside, you can't hold the ball that long. And to me, that's what marks a great player, when the offense has to switch up their whole mentality in order to stay away from one defensive player. And Micah Parsons has been that so far.
And we have seen the last couple seasons when Tank Lawrence has been healthy, he has been able to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he has not been 100% healthy.
And that's part of the game.
And so right now we're talking about an offseason where there's no issues. But they need him.
Yeah. They need him.
Quinn needs him. Mike McCarthy needs him. If this team has any desires to go where they want to go, there cannot be a Tank Lawrence missing 6, 7, 8 games. Because you just can't have it.
If you have a Tank Lawrence in there, that rotation of fresh guys being able to get after the quarterback. I mean, you're talking about a Basham, a Dante Fowler, a D-Law, Parsons coming up. They're able to rotate that and get fresh legs in there. I mean, that's going to be a huge difference maker as far as quarterbacks being able to hold the ball, because those guys are fresh coming off the line. Those offensive tackles, those guards and centers, they're going to be getting worn down as the game goes on. So hopefully we can have each one of those guys on the D-line fresh and ready to roll, because if you add D-Law to that combination, it could be dangerous for the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, so Micah Parsons, his job is to get to the quarterback, and that means also offensive linemen have to be aware of him too, because he's so quick as he's shooting these gaps here. Micah Parsons had this to say about the Cowboys' first-round draft pick out of Tulsa, Tyler Smith. Take a listen.
I think Tyler's going to be a really good player. I know to some people it probably wouldn't be what they expected, but I think, man, we're all really excited about him, and I think he's a strong kid. He gets his hands on you. I don't see too many people getting away from him. He got the best of a lot of guys here in practice so far. Really made a great impression. I'm excited to see a step forward. It seems like he knows exactly the type of player he wants to be and what steps he's got to take. And I think he got the best tackle in the game to look from. You know, he got Tyron Smith in front. He still got Zach to learn the guard position and tackle, whatever he's learned. I think he got some true Hall of Fame guys to learn from. And I think he's stepping into the right shoes and showing exactly what we wanted to see. You know, he got some of the big guys, and he's like, oh man, he got some strong hands. So I'm really excited about him.
That's a great comparison right there, because that's all we said about Tyron Smith when he came into the league. Man, that dude has some strong hands, and when he gets his hands on you, it didn't matter who it was; they were locked up. So that's a great compliment right there, and that he's got that strength to be able to hold up these guys on the interior and on the outside. And like he said, I mean, he has two of the best offensive linemen in the game to learn from. Tyron Smith and Zach Martin, when he's talking about guard or whether you're talking about tackle. So for him to get that praise this early, it's great. And I know we're just in shorts and jerseys. I know we're just in that. But to me, I feel like that would be harder for an offensive lineman to block when you're just in shorts and pads, because these guys can do wiggling around and do all their speed. But when you have pads on, you got more surface area to get your hands on. So for him to be out there doing what he's doing in OTAs right now, I think that's impressive. I would love to see when he gets the pads on, because I want to see that nastiness.
Sure.
I want to see driving into the ground, just Williams type stuff. So that's what I want to see going when we get the pads on. But early on in this OTAs, it's great to hear that he's been able to pick things up and get his hands on guys.
I think when you have an opportunity to talk to Tyler Smith, you're really going to like his mentality. Mm-hmm. And what you talked about with Micah in terms of, hey, I want to be good, I want to learn my craft, that's Tyler Smith.
Right mentality.
The teaching and how he is able to absorb the teaching and play is going to be something to look at. I still would tell people he's a project player.
Yeah.
He's true. Still a project player. I mean, Micah Parsons played at Penn State and played at a high level, was an All-American. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's fair to try and, hey, because he's a first-round pick, he's not going to be that player. It's going to take him some time. Mm-hmm. Because let's be honest, if he would have been drafted higher.
He would have been one of those guys, yeah. This is
so
true.
He had the holding penalties in the American Conference at Tulsa. So there's going to be things he has to work on. The people who drafted him have said, we understand it's a process. Okay. Terrence Steele. To me, that is really a barometer that they should look at. In a perfect world, he could be a better Terrence Steele.
Okay. And that's good, because
Terrence Steele turned out to be a really good football player 2 years into his career.
Yeah. He made a huge jump.
And so, unlike Terrence, He's got OTAs. He's going to have some teaching before he gets to training camp.
Yes.
Because of COVID, T Steele didn't have that.
No, he didn't.
And then there was also the virtual learning they had to do during the year. So Tyler Smith is going to be able to be in a different position. But I would just caution people to just say, hey, look, there is still going to be a learning curve for this young man.
And it's going to be, I think, for the first maybe 3 picks. I mean, I know Sam Williams, the defensive end out of Ole Miss, he was an all-pro or all-conference player out there in the SEC.
First team, yes.
First team, all that. And he can get after the quarterback. But there's definitely going to be a learning curve for him. And then Jalen Tolbert as well, coming out of Southern Alabama. I want to see how he translates his game from that small kind of college conference to the NFL. I mean, we've seen it done before. We've seen guys come from small schools and have great NFL careers. But I'm interested to see how he translates because I think he'll be thrown into the fire maybe even before Sam Williams and T. Smith.
He could have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's what training camp is going to be about a lot of these guys. How much can they take from OTAs and this mandatory minicamp in a training camp? That's something you've gone through yourself.
And what's going to be huge is that month break time. I think they get like a month off between the last minicamp and the beginning of training camp. To me, that's going to be huge for these rookies. How are you going to approach it? How are you going to attack it? Are you going to be, in the playbook? Are you going to be working on your craft? Are you going to have like a veteran presence in there teaching you the game? Because what you don't want to do is let all this OTAs and minicamp kind of go to the wayside. Oh, I'm on my break time. I can finally relax. No, because you're not there yet. You're not there yet. You're not that vet status yet. So you got to make sure you attack the game plan, attack the playbook, and make sure when you get into camp, you're in the best shape of your life and you know the playbook like the back of your hand because you're going to get tried and tested as soon as camp starts. So I'm interested to see how these young rookies attack this little break they have.
All right, Barry Church, when we come back, let's hear from Cowboys running backs coach Skip Peete on the late Marion Barber III, his remembrances of him. And also we'll talk about the current running back, Ezekiel Elliott. How's he feeling now since the injury? We'll hear from Zeke next. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
At Smoothie King, we are blending goodness to fuel your greatness. Every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses only whole fruits and organic veggies. You'll never find sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of our blends. Smoothie King is proud to be the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Place your order in the app or online for pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
Back to the Players Lounge.
A guy that I'm going to truly miss. Had opportunity to coach him for several years. Unbelievable person. I mean, the guy showed up every day, had a smile on his face, came to work. If I could show anybody a model and a role to develop a running back to play in this league, it would be definitely Marion. I mean, the guy came to work every day, practiced hard every day, did a great job in the meetings every day. He was a little bit like, obviously his name, Barbarian, as a player. Very physical player. As a runner, as a protector, and had the ability to run routes out of the backfield. Very unique in that way. But I think the thing that maybe a lot of you really don't know about him is that he was an unbelievable person. give the shirt off his back, invite people over his house, cook dinner for him. He would stop by my home, play with my kids when they were young, and very personable in that way. I mean, he was very shy when he got to doing what I'm doing right now, but one-on-one was very, very entertaining to talk to. Hadn't really spoke to him in recent years, besides when I just first got back. The man I'm going to remember is the guy I coached, how he came in this building every single day, what he meant to his friends and what he meant to me, the guys he played with, and the determination to try to make everyone a little bit better person.
That's Skip Beat, Cowboys running back coach on Marion Barber III. MB3 passed away last week right here in the city of Frisco, where the Cowboys headquarters is located, the Star. Found unresponsive at his apartment complex. So we'll get more details, obviously, as the coroner releases a report. Barry, you played with Marion Barber III.
And it's extremely sad news, but everything Skip P said is 100% true about this man. I played with him my rookie year, and when I came in, this is the guy that like he said, like Skip P, I don't know about smile on his face every time, but this man came to work every single day. It didn't matter if we were in shorts and jerseys or if we were in shoulder pads and we were hitting in two-a-days. This guy had the same mentality. You want to talk about physical. I've had the opportunity to go head-to-head with Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, and Marion the Barbarian. And I would say he is up there with those three guys when you talk about physical runners. It would take more than one guy to bring this guy down. And I'm not talking about just, a DB tackling this guy. I've seen him go against guys like Igor Ovshinsky, who was one of the biggest, strongest men I've ever seen in my life. And he's been able to run through guys like that. I mean, this guy, you saw the famous 2-yard run this guy had. I mean, he was throwing guys off left and right against the Patriots. He only got 2 yards, but it was one of the most physical, dominating 2-yard runs you've ever seen in your life. And he had that type of approach to each and every day. And when you talk about giving the clothes off your back to somebody, this man was one of the most kind, even though he had that name, Barbarian, he was one of the most kind individuals I've ever seen. When you got him one-on-one, he was shy, like Skip P said, in a group setting. But when you got him one-on-one, he would open up to you. He would talk to you about anything and break the game down to you to where you can understand it and have a better career off of it. This guy, I mean, he was a professional just through and through, and it's just sad news that he's been gone at such a young age, because I think he was 38, and I mean that's extremely young to pass away. But I mean the impact this guy left in our locker room back there was amazing. I mean he's one of the strongest runners and strongest people that I ever had a chance to be a teammate with, and it's sad to hear, and the condolences goes out to his family. But this guy, I mean, when you talk about bringing it each and every day, I mean, that dude brought it each and every day, and it's sad to hear him passing. But man, he was a hell of a player and a hell of a teammate and a hell of a person.
So Friday's his birthday.
Would have been 39.
39.
Man. So young, man.
I remember when he came. I remember I was here when they drafted him, and fourth rounder out of Minnesota. His teammate, Lawrence Maroney, was taken in the first round by the Patriots.
Patriots, yeah.
And they split time at Minnesota, and I think had Marion been the lead ball carrier, no way he lasts until the fourth round. No. But when they had Marion Barber and Julius Jones together, Bill Parcells had a nice run game going, and obviously Julius did not fulfill the thoughts that so many people thought that his career could be. But Barber ended up with a Pro Bowl, having a Pro Bowl year, and just was a reliable guy when he played. And I'll miss him. I remembered we did a podcast here recently. Couple years, maybe it was right before the pandemic, and I saw him out here at the Star. We just smiled and just had a quick little chat with each other, and it was just nice to see him. And he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Basically, and Barry, you know this because you play. Bill Romanowski once told me, he said, guys either get fit or they get fat.
The one of the two. That's it. There's no in between. You're either gonna blow up or you're gonna get real fit. It's just one of the two.
And he lost that weight that he didn't have to play that bruising style. So he had lost that weight that he had there. So Marion Barber, rest in peace. So many of us who were around you appreciated you.
Without a doubt.
Appreciated you. And that's that's something you'd like. I think when we all get called home, we'd like people to say the kind things about us that Marion Barber has had said about him. Speaking of the current bruising running back for the Dallas Cowboys, that is Ezekiel Elliott. Now we know, he wasn't 100% last year. He was playing. He said he was fine. He lied to us. Not the first time players have lied about injuries. You know that, Barry. Guys don't want, which I personally don't understand. Why don't you? If I'm hurt, I'm hurt.
Yeah, I understand with his situation.
PCL, folks. That's what I said. Exactly. How come guys don't just go tell it?
If I was in his situation, I would, because it ain't like he ain't gonna get Wally pipped. So it ain't like he's got to. Oh man, I gotta make sure I'm out there for my job. They gave you the bag, so I'm not so sure why he didn't just go out there and say, I'm injured, man. I need a little bit of rest. But I guess he's being there for his teammates, and I guess he felt that him being on the field gave our team or gave the Dallas Cowboys the best opportunity to win. So maybe that's why he didn't. But to me, I already got the bag. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I can't go out there and perform to the best of my ability. So why not tell a Jim Maurer or Britt Brown what the deal is?
They knew he just wanted to keep playing. He just wanted to keep playing. I talked to someone in the organization who said, "Hey, we tried to. He did not want to miss time. He wanted to play." And I just come back and I think, I'm like, who's in charge?
Because when you go out there and play, it's like now everybody's looking at you. Oh, he done lost a step, or he doesn't have it anymore. Once you're on that field, it's like, oh, injuries go aside. People don't see those injuries. They just look at your production.
I see it when you're in that. Okay, hey, we're in this hole where we got to do this to make the playoffs, and you're in the playoffs. But this has happened before. It's happened early in the year, man. Take 3 weeks. Take a month off.
Take it off.
Help your team by getting yourself right.
Especially when we had the lead in the division by such a margin. Yeah. I mean, you got to rest yourself and get ready for when it really matters. And we saw that he didn't do that. He was able to play, which, hey, is that warrior mentality.
70% of them got 1,000 yards. Yeah. But what would 95% get? Maybe. Where could it have helped the Cowboys out? Here's Ezekiel Elliott at OTAs talking about the injury and how he's feeling right now.
I feel good. I'll say I'm healthy, after last year. It took me maybe, a month or two to, get the feeling 100%. But I say at this point, obviously, I'm feeling good and I'm ready to go.
This is the last year of his guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So this is a major season for Ezekiel Elliott.
A lot of pressure.
To really... I struggle to say get back to where he was.
I don't know if we'll ever see that again.
Correct. I mean, this is the body as a running back. I've been told by many people, including running backs, you only have so many hits in you.
Yeah, and if you go by history, I think there's only been one back and I'm talking about Adrian Peterson when he tore his ACL and then came back to rush for 2,000. That was able to do that. If you go through history, once that decline starts, maybe it's not steep. Maybe it's here and there, just a little bit less yards here and there. We rarely see a guy come back up to where he was at his peak, and he was one of the best when he was at his peak.
And I also say that because what we talked about earlier in the show, it was a run-based offense.
Yes, it was.
Under Jason Garrett.
Yes, it was.
It's not a run-based offense anymore.
Mm-mm.
And Tony Pollard's going into his last year, and they're trying to figure out ways to get Tony Pollard touches as well. So I just don't expect to see Ezekiel Elliott leading the league in rushing. I don't expect that we're going to see that guy that we saw with a high volume, putting up big total rushing numbers that we saw the first couple of years. But can you still see a guy who can be a difference maker and make a difference that coordinators say, okay, look, we got to make sure we know where 21 is. I do believe that is still something that's there.
And I'm with you on that one as well. I think he can still get the respect of the defenses to where they got to stack the box and make sure they slow him down first before anything with this offense. But let me ask you this, though. Do you think the Cowboys will give more, I want to say more touches, but want to get a better look at Tony Pollard before they let him in free agency? I want to see. I would think they would want to figure out what they have in Tony Pollard before they just let him hit free agency like that. Do you think that could happen this year as far as the touches are concerned?
With Amari Cooper gone, and seeing the ability of what Tony Pollard can do, I don't see how they don't.
Yeah, they got to.
And you have to maximize your weapons.
Yeah, but you don't want to let him go out there and then you realize you lost a an explosive back out there. So I can see them getting more touches for him involved, which will eat into Ezekiel Elliott's.
And at the same time, knowing that Ezekiel Elliott's going to have, they're going to have to make a decision about Ezekiel Elliott and his money.
Exactly.
Whether you decide to make a cut of the player or you decide to do almost what you did basically what they did with Tank Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
They're at that point in time. Either you cut him and try and eat some money over the next 2 years, or you come up with a contract that reduces the number drastically.
Yeah.
And you keep the player longer. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what they did with Tank. So they're going to have to come to that decision with Ezekiel Elliott. The way some of these contracts have been set for star players, it's going to keep coming into this position of, all right, what do we do?
Yeah.
So as you look at Amari Cooper, as you look at DeMarcus Lawrence, as you look, Tyron Smith, the left tackle, is going to be in that same position coming into next year as well. Okay, what do we decide to do here?
Yeah.
Because we have a player under contract. You saw what they did with Lyle Collins.
Exactly.
This is the nature of football. And by the way, it's not the Cowboys. It's pretty much every team
Everywhere.
in the league that is giving out some big contracts. What did the Kansas City Chiefs say? Hey, you know what, Tyreek Hill? No, we're not going to. We're going to move on.
I'm going to move on.
You want that kind of bag? We'll move on. We've paid Kelsey. We've paid Mahomes. We can't pay you.
Yeah. And then as a player, you got to realize, okay, that's where I'm at in the pecking order, so make moves necessary. But it's going to be a huge year. A lot of pressure on a lot of players and coaches in this organization.
And if in some ways, if you're Jerry Jones, this is good.
Yeah.
You're going to have some guys that have to have a reason to go next level. Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Tony Pollard.
I
mean, CeeDee Lamb. He's going to want to be that number one guy.
Tyron Smith, your center Tyler Biotish. There's a lot of guys who need to perform. And that's not a bad thing either.
At all. We seen what it did for the defense. When there was competition, when guys needed the ball out, we saw they rose to another level, and that defense shone out. So hopefully that same thing can happen on the offensive side.
Your man Tristan Hill.
He got a ball. The young Gator, the enforcer, he got a ball.
You try to make this team.
Exactly.
Defensive tackle, trying to make this team here. So
it's going to be a huge training camp for him.
I'm looking forward to getting out there. I'm going to leave the 24th to get on out to California for training camp, and it's going to start up on the 25th. So I'm going to be looking forward to seeing exactly what they do. It's a lot of pressure on a whole lot of people, from coaches to players.
And like you said, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, in my opinion. Competition breeds the best. Iron sharpens iron. So hopefully those guys can go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to have the best year of my career. And hopefully, as a team, they have the best years of their career.
Careers, money, it all depends on it here.
Mm-hmm.
Look, as we know every year, and you experience it as a player. Everybody doesn't come back, man.
Mm-mm. Everybody don't. That's the thing. Nature of the beast.
Look to the right. A couple folks ain't going to be here.
Nope. Locker room will be different. That's what they always say. Each and every year, the locker room is going to change. Whether it's a big dog leaving or it's, a couple guys on the bottom of the roster, that locker room will change.
Barry Church, good stuff.
Yes, indeed. You out next week?
I'm out next week, and so we'll convene.
Do we have another one out there?
No, we're going to be off.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be off once the minicamp ends, camp weekends. Then we'll be off in training camp. So the next time the three of us
we'll be together.
Get Danny McCray back. We'll be out of training camp, or at least I'll be at training.
Yeah, you'll be out of training
camp.
Yes, indeed.
And we'll basically do what we did last year. I'll give you reports about what I got.
Yes, indeed. And we'll be listening. Listening.
I'll lean on not Tank, but I'll lean on Nate Newton.
Big Nate. Make sure he gets you right with those dudes in the trenches.
That's it. I would watch. Literally, that was my thing. I would go find Nate Newton and watch practice.
Because you broke to us early how Terrence Steele was looking out there, and the next thing we know, he done took off.
At some point in time, just be smart enough to know who do you need to go around. So him, Derek Eagleton, Nick Eatman, different guys.
Hellman.
Right. When I'll go and I'll watch and talk with them at camp, and Brad Sham, Christy Scales, Babe Loffer. So there's a lot of people, and even when folks come out, like a Bucky Brooks from NFL Network comes out, or Willie McGinnis will come out, I'll go find them as watching practice and tell me what you see.
Okay. And I'll be listening on the other line.
Because I'm seeing things, but, I like to see what other people who I respect in this game who follow football, what they're seeing as well. So same thing with coaches. So, man, I'm looking forward to it, brother.
Real quick. Yeah. I know we got to leave here, but real quick. When did the undrafted free agents start getting a bag to come to – what? Your boy, the Marquise Bell, got $200,000 to come out here for minicamp. All these undrafted guys getting six figures to come in. Man. Whew, I came here for $10K. They gave me, hey, you want this $10K in a minicamp invite? Sure, I'll take it.
I think Drew Pearson got $500.
I mean, wow. What is it?
15 or $500.
How times have changed.
Right, I mean, you got $10,000. I mean, that's what Romo got.
Yeah, that's true.
You got the Romo number. So, this dude was a quarterback.
I guess the money just keep going up.
So,
$200K?
One, good agent.
That's true.
That's the first thing Bell has is a good agent.
You got a heck of an agent.
I'd say this: if I'm in the safety room, I would be very cognizant of what that young man made.
Oh, you knew I would have known. I'd have been like, oh, he getting 200? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He will be in some packages.
Yes, he will.
He will have
dime package.
He will have opportunities.
He will.
He's going to have to cut himself because they're trying to keep him on.
Without a doubt.
Even if it's in a practice situation, they're going to do what they can. When they give you that kind of money, they have a plan for you.
Yes, sir.
And I asked Dan Quinn about it in the group setting, and he said, "Hey, look, I see him as a linebacker, and so he's got a type of vision that he's looking for Bell." So it just sounds more and more like Dan was up there like, yeah, I think I can do something with this guy, Cam Chancellor, kind of thing. And they're just like, and they just said, okay, if you can see the vision, and based off what he did with Michael Parsons last year, all right, you want Sam Williams, you worked him out here. And he says, yeah, I'd like to work with that player. Okay, fine.
Yeah, he's proven to be able to get the best out of his players. So,
and that's going to be a very interesting thing about Dan Quinn and his role, depending on whatever happens here for 2023, because you're putting a lot of that on him.
Yeah.
Because if you're putting all this on him, then you may want to try to continue that consistency because his vision may not be the next person's vision.
This is true.
Jordan Lewis can tell you that.
This is true.
About guys' visions and what happens in your career with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, man, fun stuff as always, man, Church. All right, Chris Bean, we appreciate you, Jazz. Will, everybody's been a part of Players Lounge, and my man McCray, he was trying, but, hey, it happens.
It happens. Perfect attendance is no more.
We'll chat with you down the road right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!